The music industry had no idea what was coming. Before they became legends, before the world screamed "Shady" and G-Unit, Eminem and 50 Cent were just two hungry underdogs fighting for survival in a world that tried to bury them. Their rise to fame wasn't just about talent. It was about betrayal, war, loyalty, and the kind of struggle most rappers wouldn't survive. But what if I told you? There were moments where everything almost fell apart. That behind the scenes, their journey was filled with explosive arguments, secret deals, and shocking betrayals that nearly destroyed their partnership before it even began. Because the truth is, Eminem didn't just discover 50 Cent. There were hidden enemies blocking the deal, powerful labels threatening careers, and even people from Eminem's own circle warning him to stay away from 50. And when 50 Cent finally got his shot, someone tried to take him out, literally. Shots fired. Lives on the line. From Detroit basements to Queens street wars. From rap battles to boardrooms. Their rise wasn't just success, it was survival. And just when fame hit, new drama exploded. Money, ego, control, allegations. Fans were left asking, were they still brothers or secretly rivals? This is the untold story of how Eminem and 50 Cent rose to the top. And the dark truth the industry tried to hide. Before the screaming fans, platinum plaques, and sold-out arenas, there were two young men from two different worlds, both surrounded by chaos. Both fighting demons the world had no clue about. Their stories didn't start with success, they started with pain. And that pain became the fuel that built two of the most powerful forces hip-hop had ever seen. Let's rewind. Detroit and Queens. Two cities miles apart, but both unforgiving jungles where only the toughest survived. Eminem, Marshall Mathers, wasn't supposed to make it. The trailer park kid with bleach blonde hair and a dream was laughed at everywhere he went. He didn't come from money. He didn't have connections. He had nothing but a notebook and a storm in his mind. Detroit's underground rap scene was brutal. MCs didn't just battle for respect. They battled for survival. And here comes Marshall, a skinny white kid stepping into ciphers where every rapper wanted his head. Yo, why is this dude even here? One rapper said during a battle, smirking in front of a roaring crowd. Eminem didn't flinch. Because I'm about to kill the whole room, he snapped back, and then he did. But even as his talent exploded, life just kept punching him in the face. He was broke. His girlfriend left. He was working garbage jobs he hated. He even attempted to take his own life after being fired from a dishwasher job the same day his landlord threatened eviction. That's how dark it got. Every time he got close to a breakthrough, something would destroy it. Labels rejected him. Radio ignored him. People told him, hip-hop ain't for you. But if Detroit taught him one thing, it was that pressure turns coal into diamonds. Meanwhile, in Southside Jamaica, Queens, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, was learning survival on a whole different level. There were no rap battles in his world. There were real wars. He lost his mother at just 8 years old. No father around. He was raised by the streets. While other kids were going to school, 50 was running with dangerous people, making moves just to survive another day. He was smart, calculating. He didn't just hustle, he built empire-level thinking even before he ever touched a microphone. But the streets have one rule. When you rise too fast, someone will try to knock you down. People respected him. People feared him. But deep inside, 50 wanted out. He saw rap as his escape. He stepped into the booth and brought that raw Queens anger with him. He wasn't just rapping. He was telling the truth. The streets felt it. The industry heard whispers. Labels started watching. This was before streaming, before clout, before social media. If you wanted your voice heard, you had to move units. And 50 was doing that independently. Mixtape after mixtape, his buzz was growing like a wildfire. But as that fire grew, so did the enemies surrounding him. Back in Detroit, Eminem dropped the Slim Shady LP. And boom, his life changed overnight. Dr. Dre took a chance on him when every other label said no. Suddenly, the Trailer Park Kid became the most dangerous voice in hip-hop. He was raw, he was wild, and he didn't care who he offended. Fans loved him. The industry feared him. But success didn't erase the pain, it amplified it. Fame brought lawsuits, family drama, public attacks, beef with celebrities, and the media painting him as the villain of America. He was fighting on stage and in courtrooms. He was making millions but still felt broken. He needed someone who understood that type of pressure. Someone as tough as him? Meanwhile, 50 Cent was rising fast, and that terrified the wrong people. When 50 released How to Rob, he dissed almost every rapper with a hit song. Jay-Z, DMX, Big Pun, even the Wu-Tang Clan. It was bold. It was insane. It was genius. The world couldn't ignore him anymore. He had the streets and the hype. But then everything stopped. One night in 2000, outside his grandmother's house, 50 Cent was ambushed. 9 bullets, chest, arm, leg, face. He dropped in the street bleeding, barely alive. Neighbors screamed. His grandmother cried. People thought he was done. The streets went silent. He's gone, people said. His career is over. But the legend begins where most people's story ends. 50 survived. He woke up in the hospital, wired, stitched, unable to walk. He lost his deal with Columbia Records. Radio blacklisted him. Industry executives told people not to work with him. He was labeled a liability. A target, a dead man walking. But 50 wasn't built to quit. He trained his body. He sharpened his mind. He rebuilt his voice, literally, and came back even more vicious. The industry kicked him out, so he said, "Fine, I'll build my own lane." He started dropping mixtapes again, this time with even more fire. Street by street, city by city, his name was rising. People said, "This dude can't be stopped." And in a studio in Detroit, Eminem was listening. One day, someone played Eminem a mixtape from this unknown artist named 50 Cent. Eminem frowned, pressed play, and his eyes widened. "Who is this?" Em asked. "This dude from Queens." 50 Cent. Em didn't blink. "We need him." But it wasn't that easy. When Eminem told people he wanted to sign 50, everyone tried to stop him. That guy has enemies. He got shot 9 times. People still want him dead. If you sign him, you're bringing danger to the label. You're risking everything. Even people close to Eminem warned him, this could destroy your career. But Eminem recognized something. 50 was him, just in a different body. The same hunger. The same pain. The same, "I don't care if I die, I need to win" energy. He went to Dr. Dre. "Dre, you need to hear this." They sat in the studio. Em pressed play. After 30 seconds, Dre looked at Em and said one word. "Sign him." But the moment the industry heard Eminem wanted 50, things got dark. Other labels started making offers just to block him from signing him. Street enemies started circling. The industry was whispering, if Eminem brings 50 in, there will be war. And they were right, because the rise of Eminem and 50 Cent wasn't just about music. It was about power. It was about survival. It was about 2 broken kids about to change the entire rap game forever. But little did they know, the real battle hadn't even started yet. Because once 50 joined forces with Eminem, enemies came out from every direction. And soon, even Eminem's own people started turning on him over 50. The brotherhood was real. But pressure was coming, big pressure, and their biggest test was right around the corner. When Eminem and Dr. Dre decided to sign 50 Cent, the entire industry froze. This wasn't just another artist signing. This was a power move that nobody saw coming. Em and Dre were already an unstoppable force. Adding 50 Cent? That was like throwing gasoline on a wildfire. But behind closed doors, the label boardrooms were shaking. Executives were calling each other. "Are you hearing this? Eminem wants to sign 50 Cent. The same 50 that got shot 9 times. The same 50 who has enemies in the streets and in the industry." Some didn't want the smoke. Some were scared it could jeopardize everything Em and Dre built. But Eminem didn't care. One night in a quiet studio in LA, Eminem sat across from 50 Cent for the very first time. Em leaned in. "I know what it feels like to have the industry count you out," he said. Nodded. "I know what it feels like to have the streets try to kill you." They didn't need small talk. No fake smiles, no ego. Just 2 soldiers who survived the war and were ready to build an army. Em offered something no one else did. Loyalty. 50 offered something no one else had. Fearlessness. It was the birth of an alliance that would shake the world. But almost immediately, the problem started. The industry fights back. Word spread fast. Other labels panicked and tried to buy 50 out. Some were willing to pay millions just to stop Eminem from signing him. Jimmy Iovine, head of Interscope, knew signing 50 was dangerous, but he trusted Dre and Em. He approved the deal, but warned them both. "This could start a war," Jimmy said. Em smirked. "Then let them come." They signed 50 to Shady Aftermath. But the moment ink hit paper, the calls started flooding in. Why him? He's too violent. He's a liability. M is making a mistake. Even some of Eminem's own team didn't approve. They pulled him aside. You're a global superstar now. Why bring street drama into the label? This could ruin you. Eminem didn't flinch. I don't sign people for safety. This could ruin you. Eminem didn't flinch. I don't sign people for safety. I sign people for talent. But the backlash got worse. People tried to block 50's debut album every time they tried to clear a sample, denied. Every time they tried to schedule interviews, canceled. Labels were calling radio stations, telling them to blacklist 50. Old enemies were resurfacing, sending threats. Some industry bosses even sent warnings. If he drops that album, we're coming for you. But Eminem stepped forward. He put his own name on the line. He told the label, if you don't let 50 drop his album, I'll walk. That's how strongly he believed in him. Family and friends worried in Detroit. Even Eminem's family was concerned. His uncle told him, you're already fighting lawsuits, beef with celebrities. The media hates you. Do you really need a gangster rapper on top of that? Eminem replied, he's not a gangster rapper, he's the real deal. Meanwhile, 50's circle was skeptical too. Bro, are you sure about this? His friend asked him. Working with a white rapper from Detroit? You think he really understands you? 50 didn't hesitate. He's the only one who does. The studio sessions were electric. Once 50 moved to LA and started working with M and Dre, the energy was different. Every session felt legendary. Every beat Dre made sounded like a warning shot. Every hook 50 wrote sounded like an anthem. And Eminem? He was sharpening 50's pen like a general training his top soldier. Make them feel it, M would say. Watch how I break them, 50 would reply. Their chemistry was insane. When they recorded Patiently Waiting, Eminem laid his verse with so much aggression it felt like a declaration of war. Listened, then laughed. Damn, bro. You rap like you're ready to fight the world. M smirked. I am. You in? 50 nodded. Always. But war was coming. The streets didn't forget 50. His enemies were still out there, watching closely. Rumors started circling that people were plotting to take him out again, before he could blow up worldwide. Eminem's security team had to step in. Dre increased his protection. Meetings were held in secret. Travel routes were changed. They treated 50 like a president under threat. But even with danger everywhere, 50 stayed focused. If they want me, they better hurry, he joked. Because once this album drops, I'm untouchable. The secret meeting that changed everything before the album release. Eminem called a private meeting with 50 and Dr. Dre. We're about to turn this industry upside down, M said. But understand, once this drops, there's no going back. There will be hate. There will be lawsuits. There will be hit pieces. Are you ready for that? 50 sat back. He thought about the bullets, the scars, the betrayals, the nights he almost didn't make it. He looked M dead in the eyes. I was born ready. Dre added, then let's make history. Get rich or die trying. Almost never happened. When they announced the album, fans went crazy. The streets were buzzing. Mixtapes were flying. The hype was unreal. People lined up around buildings just to get a glimpse of 50. But behind the scenes, major labels were still trying to shut it down. They offered 50 millions to walk away from Eminem. They offered Eminem bonuses to drop 50. They threatened radio stations. They tried to block distribution. They even contacted lawyers. Then something shocking happened. A very powerful mogul who had beef with 50 secretly met with label execs and said, do not let this album come out. If 50 blows up under Eminem and Dre, the whole game changes. But Dre and M refused to fold. Dre said, if they block the album, I'll build another label. M said, if they come for him, they come for me. Loyalty like this had never been seen in hip-hop. And then it happened. Get Rich or Die Trying released. The explosion was immediate. The industry shook. First week, 872,000 copies. The biggest debut for a rap album. Ever fans were screaming. Stores sold out. Radio couldn't ignore him anymore. The streets crowned him king. And who was standing right behind him? Eminem. Arms crossed. Proud. But success brings pressure. Pressure brings greed. Greed brings jealousy. And suddenly, people close to 50 started acting different. People close to Eminem started whispering. Money was pouring in. Fame was rising. Power was shifting. And where there's power, there's betrayal. Somebody from inside the circle was about to turn. And this time, it wouldn't just threaten music. It would threaten their brotherhood, because as 50's success skyrocketed, Eminem started losing control. People began asking, is 50 getting too big? Is M being overshadowed? Who really runs Shady Aftermath now? The tension was building. The loyalty was tested. One wrong move, and everything could collapse. The world saw two legends on top, but behind the scenes, a storm was coming. Get rich or die trying didn't just blow up, it took over the world. 50 Cent went from surviving gunshots to sitting on top of the music industry like a king. Everywhere you looked, 50 was there. On the radio, on TV, on magazine covers, on the charts. The streets saluted him. The industry feared him. Even legends started watching their spots. But success has a dark side. Because while the world was celebrating the unstoppable duo of Eminem and 50 Cent, behind the scenes, things were getting complicated. Fame was rising. Money was pouring in. Power was shifting. And when money and power enter the room, loyalty gets tested. At first, everything seemed perfect. Eminem and 50 were like brothers. They laughed, toured together, supported each other, backed each other in beefs. If someone dissed 50, Eminem went to war. If someone dissed Eminem, 50 was ready to ride. Fans loved their energy. They were unstoppable, but then, signs of tension started to show. The industry whispers begin. You see how big 50 is getting? Is 50 bigger than Eminem now? Is Eminem still the boss? Or is 50 taking over? The media loved this narrative. They started comparing them, ranking them, putting them against each other. TMZ, Hot 97, XXL, every outlet was pushing the same question. Who's the real king? 50 noticed. Eminem noticed. They both ignored it, but their teams didn't. People around 50 started telling him, bro, you don't need to be under Eminem. You're your own boss now. You should run your own empire. People around Eminem whispered, be careful. 50 is getting too powerful. What if he turns on you? At first, both artists brushed it off, but then small disagreements started turning into arguments. The first big argument during a private meeting at Interscope, M and 50 were discussing future projects. M wanted to sign new artists. 50 wanted to focus on expanding G Unit. I think we should move this direction, Eminem said. We? 50 responded. You mean you think? The room went quiet. M frowned. What's that supposed to mean? 50 leaned back. I built G Unit from the ground. I know what's best for my brand. M shot back, and I gave you the platform to build that brand. 50's eyes narrowed. I made you money, too. The tension was real. Jimmy Iovine had to step in and change the subject. After the meeting, Dre pulled both of them aside. Don't let ego ruin what we've built, Dre said. You two are stronger together. They both nodded, but the crack had already formed. The money issue. As 50's fame exploded, his business moves did too. G-Unit clothing, sneakers, movies, video games, vodka deals, vitamin water. He was stacking millions. He started making more than most artists in the label, including Eminem. And some people noticed. Why is 50 making more than M? Industry insiders whispered. Shouldn't the biggest artist be the highest paid? This got back to Eminem. Not because he was jealous of 50's money, but because people started acting like 50 was the main star. And Eminem was just the cosign. Eminem stayed quiet publicly, but privately he started backing away from some of 50's decisions. And 50 noticed. Why is M going silent on me? 50 asked his team. Where's the support he used to give? His team, some smart, some messy, fed into his frustration because he knows you're bigger now. Because he's scared of losing control. 50 didn't want to believe it. But then betrayal happened. The game situation, the first true divide. Eminem signed the game to Aftermath, agreed to bring him into G Unit. It was supposed to be the strongest new trio in hip-hop, Eminem, 50 Cent, The Game. But The Game didn't want to play by the rules. He didn't want to inherit 50's enemies. He wanted his own identity. He started acting distant from G Unit. He refused to diss Jadakiss and Nas when 50 told him to. He was making moves without approval. He felt disrespected. I brought you in. I made you hot. And now you think you're better than the team? Game snapped back. You didn't make me. I'm a star with or without you. Things got ugly. 50 went on the radio and publicly said Game was no longer part of G Unit. Shots were fired literally outside the Hot 97 studio. Chaos erupted. Fans were shocked. Here's where things got complicated. 50 expected Eminem to take his side immediately. But Eminem didn't. Instead, Eminem stayed quiet. He didn't defend Game, but he didn't publicly support 50 either. To 50, that silence felt like betrayal. He confronted M privately. "Why didn't you back me?" 50 asked. M sighed. "Because you both were wrong." 50's voice rose. "You're supposed to be my brother. Brothers don't stay neutral." M shot back. "I'm not going to war every time someone pisses you off." 50 stared at him. "You did before." M looked away. "Things are different now." Those 4 words changed everything. Cracks turned into fault lines from that moment. Things were never the same. They were still working together. They were still making hits. They were still appearing in public like everything was fine. But behind closed doors, the distance was growing. 50 felt Eminem was becoming, thing was fine. But behind closed doors, the distance was growing. 50 felt Eminem was becoming corporate. Eminem felt 50 was becoming reckless. They stopped hanging out as much. Phone calls became shorter, studio sessions less frequent. Trust slowly fading. Fans started to notice, why don't they collab like they used to? Why doesn't 50 appear on M's new album? Why is M always working solo now? Is there beef between M and 50? Rumors started flying online. Blogs, forums, magazines. Everyone wanted to know, is the greatest partnership in hip-hop history falling apart? Both denied it. But the tension kept growing. The most dangerous moment came when 50 wanted to drop a project. Eminem didn't approve it. 50 expected automatic support. Eminem wanted changes. That small disagreement turned into a screaming match in the studio. "You're trying to control me," 50 yelled. "You're acting like a dictator." Em fired back. "This is my career. And this is my label." Dre had to walk in and stop it before punches were thrown. "Both of you need to chill," Dre shouted. "You're brothers. Why are you acting like enemies?" Silence. 50 looked at Eminem. Eminem looked at 50. For the first time, neither one spoke. That silence was louder than any argument. Dre shook his head. "If this continues, you'll both lose everything." But it was too late. The relationship was damaged. The empire was unstable, and then something huge happened. Eminem disappeared. He vanished from the spotlight. No music, no shows, no interviews, nothing. The world panicked. Fans begged for answers. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said he retired. Some said he overdosed. Some said he was in rehab. Some said he was done. 50 tried calling him. No answer. He reached out again. Silence. For the first time since they met, 50 Cent felt abandoned, left alone at the top of the world, hurt, angry, confused, and that's when the real drama began. Because while Eminem was fighting for his life in silence, 50 was fighting the whole industry alone, and soon. He started making choices that would change everything. Eminem vanished. No warning. No announcement. No farewell. One day he was the biggest rapper on the planet. The next he was gone like a ghost. No music, no performances, no interviews. Nothing but silence. Fans were confused. The media speculated, conspiracy theories exploded online. Did he quit? Did he relapse? Is he dead? Did the industry silence him? But only a few people knew the truth. Eminem was fighting for his life. After years of pressure, lawsuits, family drama, beef, and nonstop fame, he collapsed. Drugs, depression, exhaustion. M was drowning behind the scenes and nobody saw it coming. He checked into rehab secretly. He cut off everyone, even close friends. He stayed inside, avoided the public, and tried to rebuild his mind. Meanwhile, 50 was on top of the world, but felt completely alone because his right hand, his mentor, his brother, was gone. At first, 50 waited. He figured M just needed a break. But weeks turned into months, months into a year. Still nothing. 50 tried to call, no answer. He reached out to Paul Rosenberg. "Where's M?" "He needs space." "What do you mean space?" "I need him. He's not ready." 50 slammed the phone. The industry turned on 50. With Eminem gone, the industry smelled blood. Enemies started circling. Old beefs reignited. Rappers who were quiet before now took shots at 50 publicly. Ja Rule, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Cameron, Rick Ross, Game, everyone wanted a piece. Was beefing with half the industry by himself. He was still winning. But the pressure was insane. He had to protect G Unit, drop albums, run businesses, fight rival crews, handle lawsuits, and maintain his image as the undefeated king. But deep inside, he knew something was off. His success didn't feel the same anymore. The music wasn't hitting like before. The energy wasn't the same. Even fans began to notice, where's the old 50? He doesn't sound hungry anymore. He's changing. Then came the final straw. 50 asked for help and got silence at one point. 50 wanted Eminem to feature on his new album. It was a big moment. 50 needed his brother. He sent the request. Days passed, weeks, nothing. Finally, Paul Rosenberg called 50. M's not ready to work. 50 clenched his fist. Not ready or not interested? Paul hesitated. He's going through something deep. That's when 50 snapped. Why is everybody protecting him? Why won't anyone let me talk to him? I thought we were family. Paul went quiet. Sometimes even family needs space, he said. Then the line went dead. For the first time ever, 50 felt betrayed by Eminem. He left me, 50 told his crew. I was there for him when everybody was against him. And when it's my turn, he disappears. Those around 50 fed into his frustration. You don't need him anymore. You're bigger than him now. You made your own empire. And for a moment, 50 believed it. He started doing things his own way. Stopped waiting for M. Stopped asking for approval. Stopped trying to protect the partnership. That's when he made his most controversial moves. He publicly went after his own label mates. He exposed behind-the-scenes deals. He called out Interscope. He threatened to leave. The label executives were terrified. 50 is out of control. Without Eminem, we can't stop him. He's becoming dangerous. And then, something happened that nobody saw coming. Eminem returned out of nowhere. A new Eminem song leaked. Then another. Then a freestyle. Then, boom, Not Afraid. Eminem was back, sober, focused, stronger, smarter, more powerful than ever. The world went crazy. But 50? His reaction shocked everyone. He didn't celebrate. He didn't post a welcome back message. He didn't say a word. Instead, he stayed silent. For the first time in history, 50 Cent ignored Eminem. People noticed. Fans panicked. The media asked what happened between them. Even Eminem felt something was wrong. He called 50 personally. Ring, ring, ring. 50 answered coldly. Yo. There was a long pause. M finally said, so, we're not good? 50 didn't respond. M continued, I know I disappeared. I know I didn't reach out. I was messed up, man. I was in a dark place. 50 exhaled slowly. You could have told me. M's voice cracked. I didn't want you to see me like that. That hit 50 in the heart. Because suddenly, he remembered when he got shot, when the world left him, when nobody believed in him. Except Eminem? M continued, you saved my life when you stood by me. Let me fix this. Silence. Then 50 said 4 words. Are we still brothers? M replied instantly, always. The reunion that shook hip-hop. After that call, they met in person. No cameras, no press. Just 2 friends in a room. And they talked for hours. About pain. About fame. About pressure, about betrayal. About everything that almost tore them apart. M apologized for disappearing. 50 apologized for letting ego take over. They laughed, they cried, they hugged, and right there, they made a promise. No matter what happens, the world will never break us again. The next day, 50 posted a picture with Eminem. The caption? Some things never change. Fans went insane. They're back. The legends. The GOATs reunited. And then, the moment we all wanted, they hit the stage together. Eminem performing. 50 Cent walking out. The crowd screaming like the earth was shaking. 2 kings. 2 survivors. 2 brothers. Not just artists, legends. But here's what most people don't know. Behind the scenes, they made a new plan to build something even bigger than before. Movies, tours, music, businesses, an empire. 2-0, because the world almost ended them. But it only made them stronger. And now? They're smarter, richer, more powerful, more united than ever. The real truth? Hip-hop didn't just witness a rise. It witnessed a revolution. Eminem saved 50. 50 saved Eminem. And together, they changed the entire music industry forever. But even today, there are still secrets no one knows. Enemies still watching. Unfinished business. Unreleased songs. Untold stories. And fans can't stop asking, what's next for Eminem and 50 Cent? Another album? Another tour? A final chapter? One thing is clear. Their story isn't over, because legends don't fade, they evolve. From street survival to global domination, Eminem and 50 Cent's journey wasn't just a rise to fame. It was a war filled with loyalty, betrayal, pain, and power. They went from two outsiders the industry laughed at, to the most feared duo hip-hop had ever seen. But even now, after the millions earned, the records broken, and the legacy cemented, one question still hangs in the air. Is their brotherhood truly unbreakable, or just temporarily at peace? Because let's be real, history shows us that fame changes everything. We've seen partners turn into enemies, legends collapse from ego, and empires fall from greed. Eminem and 50 have survived scandals, label politics, and even life-threatening situations. But with the constant pressure of the industry, new artists rising, contract negotiations, and the temptation of solo power, could another storm be coming? Fans are already asking, why don't they collaborate like before? Why do they move separately? Is there still tension behind closed doors? Did past arguments leave scars that never healed, or are they simply planning something huge and keeping it quiet? One thing's for sure, whenever these two connect, history is made. And if another project, movie, or G-Unit X Shady reunion drops, the internet will explode, but if silence continues, the rumors won't stop. So now it's your turn. Do you think Eminem and 50 Cent are still as close as they say? Should they drop one final legendary album together? Or has the industry quietly pushed them apart? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading everything. If you enjoyed this insane story, make sure to like the video. Subscribe so you don't miss the next saga could drop any day. This story may be over, but the legacy of Eminem and 50 Cent, iconic.